Number 5, Vici have finally pulled the trigger on the AD carry pick. It is Xuan P that you see on your screen. So they subbed out Endless, who has played the first 4 games of this series.
And I, for one, am confused. Unless Endless was just massively tilted. I don't think there's a reason to go through 4 of your 5 games and then decide that you want to bring him in. The 2 losses must have really got to Vici.
Well, let's see if Shansha can be the difference that Vici need to change things up and take this game back in their hands. As we already see a couple of bans coming out for both these teams. Snake, they've taken away Shen, Kent, as well as Malzahar, as Gangplank, Rek'Sai, and Echo are the 3 bans that come out for Vici.
And the priority pick all series long has been that Lissandra. We'll see if that continues to hold true, or if we're going to see a boomerang in the works.
We'll have to check in and see if that's going to be locked in for Flandre, as he is hovering over the Gnar. Gnar is one of his signature picks, has been playing it quite a lot during the LPL. Well, they're still cycling through champions to see what they do eventually lock in. It is going to be the Gragas being picked up first for SOFM.
SOFM did get the MVP performance on that champion last game. Again, the power of Gragas. He's clears fast, he's tanky, stays healthy, has great 1v1 matchups in that jungle position. He can break freezes and sieges by threatening and standing off to the side with that cast. He's the everyman's jungler.
Still no Elise seen, still no Nidalee seen. It appears that just Graves and Gragas at the depth of these champion pools are what they wish to play, most importantly, as they've gone through all 5 of these games. Would not be surprised if that is the draft of Vici here.
They lock in the Graves to start things off. And they'll take the Lissandra as well. Most likely going to be played by easyhoon. Had a very lackluster performance that last match.
Yeah, got out damaged by Dandy and Lung. Didn't have a great time on Summoner's Rift. Granted, the Flandre Poppy pick diffused a lot of his strength. Also, the Alistar from Jay-Z did a lot of work, and they were putting all of their efforts towards killing easyhoon. It still doesn't mean that you can't afford to buy a QSS and ult yourself.
That aside, I really do like the tandem pickup of Graves, Lissandra. Lissandra, another jungler that works very well with her, is Kha'Zix. Obviously not as strong in the meta as, or at least not as strong in this series as Graves is. We've seen Clearlove pick Kha'Zix a few times in the LPL, but just this idea that a jungler with high burst damage that's able to 100 to 0 an opponent through the duration of the Frozen Tomb. It's an excellent target and power point that Dandy can work along this map.
We'll have to check in and see what the next 2 picks for Snake are going to be. It is going to be the Gnar picked up in the top lane, as Siva gets locked in for Crystal again. He's been topping the damage charts in most of the games for Snake, even when they face defeats.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of work, Crystal. Win or lose, absolutely has been doing his part. The Gnar with it. Not going to see the Poppy again, but Flandre still on a playmaking champion. And the Echo being banned by Vici means that that priority is surprisingly low from the side of Vici.
Yeah, the top lane pool is quite tiny, with Shen, Echo, Gangplank, and Gnar now taken off the board.
Still waiting to see what the next 2
His
picks.
Rumble was good.
Which side of Vici going to be?
Maokai still exists.
Lung's Rumble did top the damage charts of that last match. He's hovering over it now. He does lock it in, so Lung will be picking up Rumble in the top lane. And it seems like Vici just want to go back to something similar to what they played, well, almost exactly the same so far as what they played last match. Instead, they swapped things up. Seems like Caveman will be picking up Alistar in the bottom lane.
I think at this point, you just go back to what your support player is more confident with. Should be noted that Vici's coach is Korean, so no surprises that the Korean coach would bring in a bit more influenced Korean picks like that like that Taric pick, but I think this is the right call. Caveman is much more comfortable on Braum and Alistar. He hasn't been performing on that champion. Move away from it.
Yeah, I agree with the Alistar pick because the Taric wasn't great, but it also means that Jay-Z can pick the Taric for himself, and he looked fantastic on it.
I'm waiting to see what the final 2 picks are going to be coming out from Snake. Still a mid laner as well as a support to be picked up. Talia's a pick that's been, falling through a couple of pick bans, but banned out in 2 games so far.
She kind of starts out as the priority ban. You're not going to let anyone have that champion. She's very strong right now in the 6.15 meta, but as the meta has kind of evolved over the course of this series, or its own individual meta, she's kind of fallen to the wayside. So there could be the surprise Talia pick, but no, it is going to be that Karma.
Yeah, Karma being picked up in the mid lane, as well as the Taric once again for Jay-Z.
Have you ever heard of the logic and competitive play of one-tricks joining a competitive team? So the rule of thumb is they join a team and everyone bans the champion from him because he's a one-trick. So eventually you have to learn other champions. That's the logic of banning Talia in every single game, is if you're a one-trick Talia, the champion's too strong, it gets banned so much that you need to play other champions and you actually suck at Talia after about 3 months.
I was going to say, does it have a happy ending where eventually the teams forget, they leave the champion
Yeah, but then you suck at the champion because you're no longer a one-trick. That's why.
Get their one rocky moment where they climb up the stairs like, I did it. No.
You trip on the stairs.
Oh,
that's the problem.
Well, there is going to be no Talia coming into this match. Instead, the final pick coming out for Vici is going to be the Ashe that Shen Shenpi will be taking to this game. It's almost as if we've seen Endless play this champion a few times today.
We'll see if Shen Shenpi has a better performance on the arrows connecting than Endless did, although Endless did have a great step-up moment flashing over that Baron wall. Thing that I want to point out, though, and that's very important, is that this is a Karma composition. Now, it is flanked on its Flandre's Gnar. We know he's going to itemize into damage. He does it every single time, as well as the high damage opportunity that Sivir can put out late game. But you're still lacking one of the damage threats from that mid lane if this game rolls over past that 30-minute mark. On the other side, Vici are surrounded, flooded with damage. You've got Ashe, Lissandra, Graves, and Rumble. They don't have a true tank. They do have the Alistar. Again, it's why I really like that pickup over the Taric. But still, come these scrappy 5v5s, if it fizzles out, if everyone's kind of in their own individual 1v1s, Vici should win on composition.
Lots of mobility coming out from Snake's lineup. They've got the Sivir, they have the Karma in the mid lane, Taric as well to make people shielded up and stun people as fast as he can. Very mobile comp coming out from Snake.
Yeah, move speed comp from Snake opposed to a crowd control heavy 5v5 objective-based composition out of Vici. Feels almost too right that in Game 5 we just have different styles and they clash in the middle.
It seems like the two styles that these teams want to work with. Greg has been picked up by SOFM again, a very contested pick in the current meta, and something that he has been picking up later on in the split of the LPL. And more importantly, something that Dandy likes to default back to when he doesn't pick up Graves heading into his matches.
All eyes will be on these junglers, though. Again, Dandy did a great job in game number 1 and 2 by finding SOFM, by disrupting him, making sure that he couldn't be that facilitator that Snake need in their side lanes.
Yeah, early game influences mid game, and that usually decides the victor. Snake have absolute momentum, however. Vici, they need to kick this one off on the right foot, or it could just be an early closeout.
They certainly do. But unfortunately, it seems like we're having a couple of technical difficulties from one of the players, so hopefully those can get resolved and we can head into this 5th and final match. What can we expect right off the gates from these two teams? What are they looking to try to do to start things off?
Well, I have a feeling Karma's going to do that cheeky thing where she walks into the lane, pushes it forward instantly, and then walks into the enemy jungle and places down either Vision or Contest Raptors. We've seen Chie is kind of the big proponent to that, so
I don't think we've seen many Karmas do that besides Chie. The major thing that I could think of is Talia in that respect, but definitely is a possibility. I think what we're going to see is a lot of forward movement from the Gragas. Working with that Karma, definitely.
Definitely could be, and it is SOFM on the Gragas as well. He loves to be inside the enemy's jungle, loves to take down the small cans for himself and fight people every chance he gets. He's up against Danny as Snake and Vici. They're going to be heading into game number 5. They brought in a new AD carry for the side of Vici. Shen Shenpi will be starting for this one. And it's Snake's time for do or die because they've taken the last 2 games. They brought it back to game 5. And they're looking for that reverse sweep to advance in the regional gauntlet qualifier.
And you talk about mental fortitude. Again, Vici looking a bit defeated before the start of this game. Pulling in Shen Shenpi for game 5. You know, what is that taxing toll? You know, Endless brought this to game 5. Why isn't he finishing this out?
I mean, even if this is a victory coming out from Snake here, or Vici even now that it's gone to game number 5, the victor of this match has to play in a best of 5 against Team WE right after this match.
Yeah, look, we said at the start of the show that you could play like a minimum of 6 games today, but you can play a maximum of 10. And given how this series has gone, let's just say that Vici win this and make it. They've just been reverse swept. Their momentum's down the drain. Their mentality is gone. They're exhausted. They've made it to game 5. If they find the victory, congratulations. You've got another best of 5 series to follow it up with. That's disastrous.
And that'd be up against Team WE, a team that love to take you to about 35 minutes into the game as well.
I mean, that's where Vici like to be strong, but everyone better buckle up, get some popcorn, because this is going to be a long night.
It certainly is, but for now we are back onto Summoner's Rift for this 5th and final game between Snake eSports and Vici Gaming. Danny this time around will be starting on his Krog camps on the top side of the map. Seems like SFM decided to start on blue buff.
That is actually an adaptation. most junglers throughout the series, in fact, I think all of them have just started directly on the buffs, except for that one time that SOFM and Dandy traded Gromp for a Raptor start.
And again, we're going to see the AD carries pick up a camp at level 1 before heading into the bottom lane.
Of course, Graves going for the Krug camp means that he can do a full clear after getting the red buff, having that added stun. Could indicate that Dandy wants to get a farm-heavy start to this game opposed to looking to invade and gank. Means that the onus would be on SOFM to try and get something done. Of course, he doesn't know what Dandy's doing, but he is a Gragas and it's SOFM, so he will try and do something.
Meanwhile, as we check in on this bottom lane, Jay-Z really struggled with the Alistar last game. This time around, it's been swapped. He did look better on the Taric, whereas Caveman has struggled with it. So I feel like both supports are just saying, anything you can do, I can do better, and he goes in.
That's a flash very early coming out from Crystal just to avoid the headbutt pulverize that did land on towards Jay-Z. The stun does come out from the Taric, but still, very early summoner spell burnt by Crystal.
Yeah, I mean, the summoner spell was burnt, but they have the health advantage right now. Caveman wants to get level 3 maybe to have the triumphant roar there. For the moment, that is a deep, threatening teleport ward.
They also get to be so aggressive because Dandy is on the bottom side of the map, taking down the Rift Scuddler right now, so offering a lot of protection and security to his dual lane to continue to threaten Crystal and Jay-Z.
A lot of focus now placed by Vici on not dying in this lane, though they've kicked it off on the right foot.
You can already see Crystal moving as far back as possible to avoid Caveman at every single chance he gets. Taric even moving across the lane, put some wards down the river, spot people out, but it's Dandy. He's going to meet SOFM inside of his own jungle now. SOFM takes down the small Raptors, but the big one's still left standing. Dandy's going to pick that one up for himself. On the top side of the map, Flandre going up against Lung. The Na against the Rumble. Let's see if Lung's able to push in as effectively as he did last game against the Poppy.
Right now, Dandy, though, has better control over the map than SOFM does. Yes, he did lose 3 Raptors, but if you look down on the bottom side, it's completely warded up, as well as the Rift Scuddler taken advantage of. Dandy also now has information about SOFM being top side. He immediately finishes his clear on that side. So overall, just a lot of security and safety for Vici across the map.
We move back down to the bottom lane for a bit. You can already see P and Caveman doing their best to zone out Crystal as well.
That's unfortunate.
As Jay-Z.
But maybe having the fresh pair of eyes in this bottom lane for the 2v2 is going to favor Vici as well. A positive mental attitude to be brought about in this team. And the pep of being brought into a Game 5 on stage could mean a lot for P and potentially for all of Vici if he steps up.
I mean, the one defining difference between Endless and Xuan has been the fact that P looks to be a bit more carry-oriented, and he's going to get the chance.
That's aggressive, though, as Crystal gets headbutt pulverized back into the team. P getting a lot of damage down. Easy and comes down into heals coming out. The exhaust from Jay-Z on towards the Lissandra. Keeps Crystal alive. So much being burnt by Vici into this bottom lane. They don't even get a kill for it.
That is such a big mistake from P, to be perfectly honest with you. He's just stopped hitting him. He has summoner spells available. He could have chased. The exhaust was used onto Easy Hoon, and now the teleport has been burnt from this Lissandra, and nothing really was gained from it because the farm's still close to even down there.
And that's what it comes down to, the fact that a single exhaust just took so many resources traded from Vici. Frustrating.
It even means Tank, who doesn't have teleport coming to the game, picks up the cleanse to go up against the Ashe. Gets some time to head back to base and pick up items for himself. Goes for the chalice.
Thank God, by the way, he's actually gone for cleanse. This obsession with teleport.
Finally respecting both Lissandra and Ashe.
Now it's picked up the chalice of harmony. So he's going to be able to sustain himself nicely in this lane. Once he picks up the Athene's Unholy Grail, we'll be able to heal up his team quite nicely too.
Questioning which build he'll go towards after this. Of course, there's the Easy Hoon build, which he did a lot earlier in the split, which is Athene's Unholy Grail into Death Cap Rylai's. So you get your one support item and then get very efficient scaling AP items afterwards. He could commit, however, to the Ardent Sensor build, which is a curious decision. It means you're essentially just the support that does a bit of damage on the side.
On the flip side in mid lane, Easy Hoon's gone for the Hextech Revolver, so probably picking up the Hextech Protobelt later on the match. Top side of the map, neither Flandre nor Lung have gone back to base. Both still sitting on the top side of the map with their first items. So Doran, Shield, and just farming back and forth, pushing the wave against one another.
Yeah, feeling really secure in this lane. A lot of them have, both of them, have a lot of safety. Both flashes still up and available, as well as teleports. And all of this action has really been focused down towards the mid and bottom lane. I don't expect that to change anytime soon.
Yeah, no kill threat really for Dandy up there with Lung besides damage opposed to crowd control. They're the two lanes, or the two players on this team that don't have any CC. Denied. Oh, not wow.
Oh, that's aggressive. Flashes forward with the body slam. Now it's Caveman going back in on top of Tank. He's in, locks him down. There's the cleanse being used to get out of the ultimate. Dandy's gone in too. Everyone's just splashing forward. Tank trying to run away. Gets locked down easy. Collateral damage comes up the top, but there's no mana for him. He's going to get taken down. Tank gets first blood. Dandy's still going to the back lines. Massive blocking the shots coming up from the graves. Now teleports are being used as well. Dandy is in trouble, taking so much damage. Fladre's Mega knocks Long into the wall. Shredshop is trapped in a rock in a hard place. As now the rest of Vici try to run away. Double kill comes out for SOFM. Shredshop gonna get taken down by the Boomerang Blade. And Vici just get obliterated at the start of this game.
And this is what we said about Vici, or excuse me, about Snake's composition early on. When they're together in these spaces, their target selection, their control over area is phenomenal.
Early game movements with the Karma, the amount of shielding that he has as well. He has no right being alive. I'm actually pretty sure that the Graves ultimate missed at the same time as the Lissandra trying to lock it down. This is the value of the cleanse, and thank you, Tank, for having it. As EasyHoon just completely tunnels. Yeah, see the collateral damage missed. He would have died there. That could have actually been the difference between this fight winning and losing. A single mechanical error.
And Vici just on a completely different wavelength across multiple members. You've got Xuan P underneath. He's going to trade targets back and forth between Crystal as well as trying to clean up Jay-Z. You've got Caveman on top who's just running around, waiting for his cooldowns to come back up.
Yeah, and the teleports were late as well from top laners, but it works out better for Flandre because he can just rock up as Mega now.
And it's a catastrophe because 9 minutes into the game, 2,000 gold for Snake there. And it looked like SFM was being the one that's over-aggressive with that flash body slam, but it starts off a great fight for Snake.
And we talked about how Vici needed to enter this game on the right foot. Again, they won 2 games in a row, just lost the last 2 games coming into this. Look for the 80 carry swap. That is like if they weren't frustrated, they are now.
Playing against Snake in a battle of right and wrongs. A big wrong is giving SOFM 2 kills.
He's got 2 kills, looking for his Runic Echoes. Has already picked up Boots of Mobility. He's going to be able to move around Summoner's Rift incredibly quick and impact the map so much. He's already picked up 2 MVP performances, and he's on the right track to pick up another one in game number 5.
He knows that Long doesn't have his teleport or his flash available, which is why he's making this call here.
Flandre doesn't have Mega, so he's still staying back for now. Dandy moving in towards the mid lane, trying to capitalize on Tank having no summoner spells, but EasyHoon can't get in position to lock him down with the ultimate.
Yeah, no summoner spells for EasyHoon himself. You'd expect this next wave is actually where Lung gets engaged on. And here he goes.
There goes Flandre. The ultimate comes out from SOFM. Equalizer coming out from Lung as well, but Flandre just knars him into the wall, and Snake get a pick on the top side of the map.
There is a play opportunity for Vici in the bottom lane. EasyHoon has teleport. He's back in base. Dandy's caught Jay-Z.
But it's a teleport coming down as well, looking to try and capitalize and cut them off. On the hunt being popped, EasyHoon teleports in and just claws back towards the mid lane.
Good heads-up play from Crystal and Jay-Z to realize what was about to happen, that the only play available for Vici on the map was to go bottom.
Well, it seems like they're rushing to see who can take down these turrets first. There's 5 kills for Snake. Vici at least looking to try and take down the first turret, but Crystal wave clearing so effectively, which means SOFM and Flandre, they might be able to take this one down.
And like they need more gold available for them, Flandre gets 650 gold now. That is a big gnar. And Snake look like they are absolutely in complete control of this game. And it's game number 5.
Flashbacks to game 3 for Snake when they took an inch. When they got an inch, they took a mile, and they're doing the exact same thing here. 4,000 gold up.
I mean, they beat them individually 1v1 across the map in those initial 4 kills that fell in the blue side jungle. They then beat them in the superior rotation, both top and bottom. Vici, this is uphill. This is not only a strenuous mental battle at this point, but now finding themselves in a very deep hole.
The tables have turned. Snake were the ones that had an uphill battle after game 2. Vici had 2 decisive games with a very interesting pick comp. And once Snake figured it out, once they tore that apart, it seems like they found their footing in this best of 5 series. They needed a comeback in Game 4. They got it. They had a decisive Game 3. In Game 5, Snake just looked unstoppable to start off.
We'll see how well Snake can play with the lead, though, and if they're able to keep this pressure up. Typically, if S2FM gets this far ahead, 2-0-2 right now on the Gragas, that's a pretty easy task. But again, they are a karma composition, so they really need to stay ahead of the clock to make sure that Tank is still really relevant with his damage for the majority of when he's strong.
For what it's worth, they are definitely ahead.
Yep.
Dependent on Tank's next items will be the direction he wants to go, but a needlessly large rod means that he will be massive.
Dandy looking to try and clear out as many wards as he possibly can in the river. But S2FM is backed up by Jay-Z, just puts down the stun, forces him to back away. Tank still pushing aggressively against easyhoon, chipping him out wherever he can. He's about 10 CS up in the mid lane. Crystal getting some work done on this bottom lane outer turret. Should be able to take it down with the help of Jay-Z and S2FM.
And the big tool that Snake have right now at their disposal is the fact that Flandre is actually unlocked. And that seems weird as we're looking at the bottom lane, but Flandre shoving the way forward and disappearing into Fog of War on top side of the map actually forces easyhoon to play really restrictive lockdown on his tower, backed away into Fog of War, which means that Crystal and Caveman can be so aggressive.
Oh, easyhoon's in trouble. Flandre flashing forward, gonna get it locked down, but picks up the kill. No, he goes back into the turret, does get taken down. Cloud damage would have secured the kill, but still it's a 1-for-1 trade for Snake.
And that's why Snake are beating Vici across the map. It's that threat of Flandre to dive easyhoon, and it's pulling Vici's resources that they can't be where they need to defend their towers. They're defending their players.
Very claps for SOFM, resetting the buff. But everything else is going right for Snake at this stage. Vici's response does not involve structures being taken down. Takes far too long for them.
It's given Snake a 5,000 gold lead in this first match. 2 turrets, 6 kills to 1. And they're getting big item power spikes as well. Frozen Mallet being picked up by Flandre. Tank has that Athene's on Holy Grail now.
The next important objectives are going to be this Ocean Drake as well as breaking that last standing outer in the mid tower. Now, because SOFM does have the big Gragas pick as well as the power of Taric, there's a ton of dive threat. They are a very strong sieging composition, so they should be able to snowball and roll this effectively.
This dragon is going to get taken down. SOFM smites it early so he can go back to base faster, and a Mountain Dragon will spawn next. But everything on the map currently belongs to Snake.
While Snake are setting up this mid lane siege, there's actually an opportunity where Vici could look for some sort of counterplay, either set a trap, make a pick, find something.
Well, they have to start now if they want to try and find something, because slowly this game is just getting out of their control.
Yeah, well, it has to be bottom lane as well. If they want to get something done, they can't really kill Tank. He has cleanse. They can't kill Flandre. He's just so big and he's playing around vision. Has to be Crystal. But every single time they try, he just presses his R button and runs away extremely quickly. There is no response. I just don't know how Vici get back into this game at all.
It really feels like the first two games Vici played have just completely gone out the window now.
Oh, deep teleport from Flandre.
Let's see if we can get into the back lines here. Dandy trying to run away. They're going to spot him out as the teleport comes in on top of a ward. Caveman headbutts over the wall to get back to safety. Pulverize will stop Flandre, but SOFM's on top of him. Going to be able to slow him down. Suddenly Shen's in trouble. Has to flash away from the Nah. About to go Mega Flandre. He's going to be allow Crystal to pick up the first kill. Caveman's next. Tank's in trouble as he flashes away. Double kill come out for Crystal. Long's on the wrong side of the map, but does have both flash and teleport as they still look to chase down easyhoon instead. But so far, it's a 1-for-2. Long now in trouble. The Frozen Mallet going to be able to slow him down. Flandre's got hyper. The Tarek stun over the wall, not going to connect, but Long's going to go down. SOFM picks up the kills. Now 9-2 in kills on Summoner's Rift.
And Snake are going to get exactly what they came for anyway. Again, it's breaking this last standing outer. The only reason there was a play bottom is because the trap that Vici wanted to set up is they thought that they could squeeze out at a structure before Snake were in position for this. And here comes another dive.
They're on top of easyhoon. He gets cancelled the claw. The Tarek ultimate comes out as well. They're trying to jump on top of Dandy, but they will get the mid lane out of turret for their troubles. Snake look unstoppable.
It's just so well done from Jay-Z and the rest of Snake. They're the only team I've seen in the LPL enjoy having a Tarek in their team composition, to the point where Caveman had to pick it away from them and lost with it. This is ridiculous from Snake right now.
With the outer towers now fallen, it means that Snake have their pick of the litter about where they want to move in their deep triangle vision. So either on Vici's red buff or on Vici's blue buff. I suspect it should be the red, simply because Mountain Dragon not in rotation yet, and the Rift Herald is still a viable objective to take.
For what it's worth, I don't think I've seen anybody care less about Rift Herald in the past
know,
2
right?
weeks since the lanes have been standard. He may as well be the old Cloud Drake now.
We're checking with the heat map coming up from SOFM. Besides farming his jungle, you see how much time he's spent in the river around the Grom camp. But, you know, there's always a spot at Raptors and Krugs on the enemy jungle for him.
The true... Oh, good sidestep. The true 6.15 nerf wasn't to the ocean, it was to
He
the
has
Herald.
a sheen. Get him, SOFM.
Oh my goodness.
Part of me wants to hope it's a Trinity Force, but it should be an Iceborne Gauntlet.
Well, he's got 2 ruby crystals.
I know,
there.
that's why I have it.
Not quite sure what he's doing with those, but he has them.
Keep your dreams alive, Rusty.
I will be, and I'll update you as I find out more.
But now, though, Crystal's still on the bottom side of the map. Just completed his cull. It's a big spike in gold coming out for Snake's 80 carry.
So it's as we were talking about, the Rift Herald, not a high priority. Instead, they move their triangle vision into the blue side of the map, and they're going to prioritize pushing down more of these structures.
Well, they've got 7,000 gold to work with. Just 17 minutes into the game. Snake can take whatever they please here. So looking to try and push through the bottom lane in the turret.
My guess is that pink ward SOFM just killed has been there for quite a while. There's not much else to be excited about. The crowd was having a laugh.
Just trying to find out why. This Flandre finds Long on the top side of the map. He's still trying to hold his own against the Nut. Does have his teleport available. Flandre's is still down. Easy Hoon has the second teleport for the side of Vici. Expecting to go with the claw. Immediately, reactively, I should say, stun comes out from Tarek.
Really well balanced from Snake right now, applying pressure in all 3 lanes, and they're just going to slowly continue to chip away at champions and structures, trying to catch out Vici cheating through their own jungle to get behind their towers.
Yeah, well, once again having a movement speed. What?
That's an arrow and a caveman going in, both not doing anything against Snake.
All right, that's a tilter.
And there's Easy Hoon into the back lines. Crystal use on the hunt and flashes away. Tarek ultimate coming in. Snake want to go back in. Flandre's on the back lines of this fight. Both the solo lanes of Vici have been singled out. Long trying to get in.
Easy
Hoon gets popped like a balloon as Flandre gets that first kill. Now they're trying to chase down the rest of the members. Dandy's been slowed. Caveman's been locked down. Meganar comes out, knocks them back in the team. Champi goes down. Caveman has to run away, but Crystal gets the boomerang blade off. The rocks are being thrown. He snipes off Dandy. Long is the last man left alive. He can't get the wallet, but still, Snake, they get 4 kills in a team fight.
Movement speed composition coming to fruition right there. That was effectively ships passing in the night. The equalizer lays down. It doesn't hit anyone. And yeah, you can say arguably that it separated the team fight, but Easy Hoon was stuck in the back line like, guys?
Yeah, look, the reverse sweep is within touching distance right now from Snake. This last team fight was so well done from Flandre in particular after they collapse onto Easy Hoon. That's the big member gone. The way that this works, so he hits Meganar and actually flashes the headbutt from Caveman, gets the ult off, and knocks everybody towards SOFM's body slam. Incredible from Flandre in particular here.
SOFM even starting off that fight with the point-blank headbutt as soon as he's here trying to come in to get the engage. Once again, not even able to use his frozen tomb during that team fight. He's 1-4-1. It seems like he's having a repeat performance on this Lissandra where he does absolutely no damage during team fights.
We've opened up a 10k gold difference at 20 minutes into this game. This is the most absurd swing of power throughout this entire series. I don't know what took Snake so long. Maybe they're not early risers, but they're awake and online now.
Yeah.
Definitely look to try and push Vici around the map even more. Dragon's up and online. Mountain Dragon's going to be started up by Crystal here. Should be able to take this one down. There's even a Flandre down on the bottom side of the map to help him out if they need it. SFM will secure that for his team. The rest of Vici just kind of fanning around Summoner's Rift. All they can really do now is sit back and farm and pray this game goes to 60 minutes.
They're relegated to defensively warding their jungle, trying to play defense around the Baron pit and just trying to funnel as much farm as possible into each of their pieces.
But that's how scared they are. They're trying to defend the Baron pit at 20 minutes in this game, whilst Flandre is just taking inner turrets on the bottom lane.
He's going to be able to take down that bottom lane inner turret all by himself, turning Mega as well. Vici will trade it for the top lane inner. Top lane outer, sorry, that's taken by Champi.
They're moving mid now. Snake is a big unit. Of course, Flandre has teleport and he's Mega. He's just going for Long.
Knock back Long, gets him in the wallop as well, gets him down to half health. Long's going to overheat. Still, Flandre being a little bit overambitious.
Is he?
It seemed like it.
I mean, Long's okay in the 1v1. That's not really the concern. Flandre was better off saving his ultimate there. trying to be a teleport threat or at least rotate towards the middle lane to help them try and siege.
He does have one Ocean Dragon to keep himself nice and topped up as soon as he exits out of combat.
Oh, yeah, 4% after 12 seconds is not exactly the greatest deal, Fish.
But Snake are now looking to try and move towards the Baron buff. See if they can take it down. There are a couple of wards that spot them out that haven't been cleared out by Snake. They do get the Scuttle Crab though.
If they want to do this safely, they need to commit to more backs and more pink wards. So I don't think they're armed as necessarily as they should be for sieging a Baron or attempting a Baron at 22 minutes. Yes, they are very far ahead, but losing that objective would be the possible one miracle condition that Vici have to stay alive here.
And Snake have been in that position before. Game 2 against Vici, they got that miracle Baron steal that almost put them back into the game. So they know what it's like to lose a Baron when they're so far, when the enemy team's so far ahead. And Snake looking to try and push down the top lane inner turret. Shenshep stands his ground, tries to clear out as many minions as possible. Dandy and Caveman will help him. Caveman threatening to go for an engage. Karma just speeds herself up, gets back to safety. Long gets spotted out by S4FM as well as Easy Hoon looking for the flank.
Yeah, Vici desperately trying to defend this turret now. Just hold on to their structures, utilize their team composition as best they can, but Flandre is a pest.
Well, he's got a Mountain Dragon as well, so extra 10% damage to these structures. He's slowly chipping away at the mid lane inhibitor. No one from Vici's been sent back to base to deal with him yet. Finally, Long's going to head his way down. Flandre even taking this one up to keep the minion wave alive. We'll eventually be able to get tons of damage on towards that Long. Force use the Protobelt to chase him down, getting a lot of damage on towards the Naba. Top side of the map, Crystal's being engaged on, does get the Taric ultimate to negate all of that damage. Tank's going into the back lines. It's going to be Danny who gets taken down first. Crystal and Jay-Z work together to pick up the kill. Shenshep thinks he's a tank, but he's not. He's taken down, and a big Nara ultimate comes out from Flandre as 4 members of Vici have been taken down.
Flandre is unreal on this Gnar. He's pretty much one-man arming Vici. Yes, they're falling apart because SOFM is also hitting incredible casts, knocking Chuan P directly into Snake's waiting arms. But Flandre, if he doesn't get MVP here, no justice.
And Snake moves straight in towards the top side of the map. They take down the top lane Inhibitor turret. Inhibitor is going to be the next to fall. They're dominating Summoner's Roof with a 14,000 gold lead just 24 minutes into this game.
The only thing that I can criticize Snake on is not doing that sooner. That's how far ahead they honestly are. One inhibitor down. The middle lane turret is very low next to that inhib. The Baron is standing to attention right now, ready to be taken down, and Snake do not look like slowing down whatsoever, and it really does come down to combined efforts of Jay-Z's Taric always hitting the ultimate to ensure that Crystal stays alive. SOFM's Kegs to actually knock Xuan P in, makes him think he's a tank basically, but he's not. So again, really well done, and then Flandre rounds it out properly.
Right over the corner there.
3-man, 2-man Nara ultimate with a 2-man stun as well on top of that. Snake now using all this advantage to start and work on the Baron buff. They've already broken the top lane inhibitor. The mid lane inhibitor turret's incredibly low. Almost feels like Vici have to give this up. Arrow's going to come through, locks down SOFM. Long can't even go for the steal. And as Flandre is jumping over the wall, forcing Long to flash away from the Taric.
I mean, it's the desperation arrow. At that point, you're just trying to hit the splash damage.
A 1% chance for the steal. So SOFM going to add insult to injury. No, he doesn't. Sorry, Dandy takes the red buff back for himself.
Take every victory you can at this stage when you're Vici. They are so far behind. I really don't know how they're going to get out of this.
The Fnatic bush.
They have one option left, and it's pick a bush.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
I mean, they can do that. They've got a lot of damage on one person.
They need to stand on the other side of the map, however.
They also, yeah, so what they need is 4 people of Snake to not be near the bush and 1 person to check it. And that person still can't be a Mega Gnar Flandre.
However, Snake have sent Flandre down towards the bottom side of the map to continue split pushing with the Baron buff. The rest of Snake are pushing through the mid lane, trying to work towards taking down this mid lane inhibitor, which is incredibly low from previous pushes that came out from Flandre. 4, 1, and 9 on his Gnar. Has the Black Cleaver as well as the Frozen Mallet.
Oh.
Going for another Phage. He is a monster at the moment.
Yeah, I think he just has the Phage for the sake of move speed.
He's going to take a bit of damage here from Xuan P. And Flandre doesn't care too much about it as the rest of Snake just collapse in towards the mid lane, take down the mid lane inhibitor turret. Flandre has to be careful as Lung's going toe-to-toe, or does he? Equalizer is not going to connect. Easy here is looking for the fight. They're going for the desperation plays. He doesn't go in for the fight. Jay-Z gets locked down by the arrow. The rest of Snake still stays safe and healthy and disengaged from Vici, have just used everything there.
So desperation attempt from Vici doesn't find the mark, which basically means they have nothing left to give.
And they're pushing for the win. Flandre teleporting on top of a Nexus turret. They're pushing for that turret to be taken down. The rest of Vici actually going back to base to heal. They have Baron Buff minions on top of the Nexus. Vici have to go for a fight. They need to stop Snake right here because Snake, they're looking for the reverse sweep as they move straight back down towards the bottom side of the map. Take down that last inhibitor.
Cool, calm, collected now from Snake. Instead of ending, they might have Easy Hoon.
They've gone in. Easy Hoon incredibly low. Getting taken out so low. Tarek ultimate comes out. Crystal takes down Dandy one-on-one. The rest of Snake are invulnerable. Easy Hoon is dead. Treasure Beast being flashed on by Crystal. He's trying to get the fight going. Does take down the Eddie K, but the rest of his team's getting torn apart piece by piece. Snake have been able to do it. They find the reverse sweep. They will advance in the regional qualifiers.
And in SOFM's first big competitive split, he manages to hold on to his chance to represent his region at Worlds. That said, it doesn't stop here. Snake, yes, they had a grueling comeback in a reverse sweep, but ahead of them lies Team WE. They still have another best of 5 today.
And unfortunately for those watching at home, Easy Hoon does not have his opportunity to play against Faker at Worlds. Unfortunately for him, that's it. They get reverse swept. And Vici are done.
Vici look absolutely defeated at the moment to fall in such a manner. Bringing on Shen P for game number 5 and to just lose at about 7 minutes into the match as well.
We don't want to overhype Snake just yet. Again, they still have an incredibly long road ahead of them. They have to take down Team WE and IMA before they can claim that 3rd ticket to Worlds. But this is certainly the right step to make for this team who are finally starting to grow out of that LSPL reputation.
Certainly is for Snake, as crowd gives them a massive roar for a fantastic series played by them. And that's the first series they played in today. We still have one more to go, and it's going to be Snake taking on Team WE next. And even if Snake pick up a victory then, they still have to go up against IMA tomorrow to fight for the spot to head to the World Championship.
Now reminder, they'll get about 20 to 30 minutes to prepare for their next opponent. Now, that's actually an easier task for a team like Snake, simply because they do have so many different compositions and plays available to them, but still, uphill battle.
And this was the one moment, Fish, the ultimate undoing of Vici. It was a counter gank that SOFM started, but a single mistake where Danny doesn't hit the ultimate. The 2 Koreans make a mistake, and the game is basically lost from here.
Pretty much. It was 4 kills being picked up by Snake to start things off. 2,000 gold lead, and they just snowballed their advantage heading into this match.
They're just so much better at fighting at a 1v1 individual level than Vici.
Yeah, Vici didn't have any opportunity to even put team play into effect. It was just too far gone by the time they wanted to fight as a team. Flandre had a massive performance. SOFM hit an abundance of kegs. They may have been onto single targets, but every single time it was on that target, they were an important member.
And it's also a great sign for Snake.
Except that one.
The fact that it wasn't just a victory through their ability to fight. They also did a fantastic job out-rotating and playing very clean and smart League of Legends across the map for the majority of this game.
And this one was big from Flandre.
Dodging the headbutt coming out from Alistar, flashing forward, knocking multiple people back into the team to pick up 4 kills. Even getting the snipe at the end to add insult to injury. And here was the Hail Mary coming out from Vici. Big Tarek ult comes out to keep Crystal alive. He just goes toe-to-toe against Danny. He does this team fight after team fight as well.
Exactly. The Tarek play from Jay-Z was a big deal. I think individually they got together here quite well, Snake, and it wasn't just a one-man army effort. Flandre did do his part, but the whole team stepped up.
Flandre also showing why Na was banned out against him in that first match against Vici. Had a great performance, topped the damage for his team as well.
That's absurd.
And again, Vici, Easy Hoon dealing less damage than his jungler heading into this match. Lissandra is a champion he's well known for, most played champion in 2016, came back into the meta, he's been picking it up religiously, but it hasn't been great for him those last 2 games.
But I mean, that really just is the way that it works, though. The Karma against Lissandra matchup, Tank had control of the lane. He was just trying to keep him down. The fact that he did is a big win for Tank. A big win for Snake.
And it seems like SOM's going to be picking up the MVP in game number 3.
I 100% agree with the crowd. Not that, it's nice for SOFM, but that is not the MVP winner. That should have been to Flandre. SOFM did do a phenomenal job, again, hitting all of those really key casts, particularly that one that shoved P into Snake's waiting arms, but I feel like Flandre was just doing so much more on the map as well as the team fights.
Yeah, I agree.
So we had SOM being a big factor coming into this match for the team. The junglers really stepped up, did pick up 2 MVP performances previously as well to start the reverse sweep of Snake, and has had a phenomenal series, and he's also been performing so well for Snake in general since he's joined the lineup earlier on in the summer split.
I mean, he definitely has showed Snake up and actually improved the entirety of the roster to the point where they are now. They're very much deserving of being here on the back of SOFM joining them, changing the style of this team and giving them an actual identity. I think that's the most important part to me. Flandre no longer has to be the sole carry. SOFM has enough pressure on the map that he can place that Flandre is just unlocked. And unlocked Flandre is deadly.
But on the same token and on the same side, the fact that Crystal's coming back to the roster, the fact that Flandre's finally returning to form, yes, SOFM does give them a clear identity about how they want to play around their power points on the map, but it's nice the fact that they're kind of going back to their roots and what was tried, true, and tested for them. Crystal back in form, Flandre doing Flandre things. I
like the initial speculation of when Martin was playing for them the entire split. We're like, well, SOFM's kind of a loose cannon. We don't want Crystal in there as a Draven player. That doesn't really make sense as a team that just has 3 Draven-esque players in their respective roles.
I was going to say, you can't have Flandre, Crystal, and SOFM on the same team.
That's too much of a good thing that's hyper carry, but it seems to work.
Well, now they do, and they've been able to step one step closer to picking up the 3rd and final spot in the LPL to head to the World Championships later on this year. But one scary thing that really stood out for Snake was the fact that it took them so long to kind of figure out Vici. The first 2 games were just dominated by Vici with the draft that they were able to get.
Yeah, I mean, game 1 was definitely dominated. Game 2 was Snake trying to fix their own weaknesses. Once again, they worked out that Vici just had a god comp to what Vici want to do. They stopped that from happening. They fixed it in game 3, and it felt like just this steamroll started here. They just had so much momentum.
It's also really cool to pick up a composition that specializes in movement speed, having the Karma and the Sivir available, just because you know that Vici like to make those map movements. So if you pick up all of those abilities to help you match that, it compensates for kind of your lackluster macro play in general.
And I think the reason that Taric was even picked away from Snake in the 4th game by Vici is simply because of how that enables the comp even further. You've got move speed. If you get caught, God forbid you do get caught, Tahm Kendra's already banned. You've got the Taric ultimate, so you can just place that down, ensure they stay alive. Exactly what we saw happen.
Well, Snake were able to pick up the win here. Now they've got to go up against Team WE. What can we expect from this match? Because Team WE, very similar to Vici, where they do take it to late game, but a very different style.
Where to start, honestly?
Team WE will not fall down in 5v5s to the same extent that Vici will. Team WE are probably, I'm going to say, the 2nd best team fighting team in the LPL. They've certainly taken it to EDG a couple of times, so they're right on that knife's edge. And Snake are better than Vici, but that's not an accomplishment.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of composure available for WE here. They've got the advantage of not having played that first series, and it's going to be a pretty big deal here, having that composure against them.
We're going to have to see how they're going to be able to do just that. Snake were able to get the reverse sweep here, going up against Team WE. No easy task. Team WE were the 4th place team from the LPL, making it all the way to the 3rd or 4th place match against iMate. They're going to be a tough team for them to go up against. Hopefully be able to see a similar performance, especially for the last 3 games. So we'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be a lot on the line.
Yeah, so for now, that's all from us here. We're going to go into a break. I'll be back with the next match, which will be Snake taking on Team WE.